It has been fodder for every comedian coast to coast, and they are taking full advantage of it. But for the people of Toronto, it is a world embarrassment. Their hard-drinking, crack-smoking mayor remains in office despite all efforts to convince him to leave.
Can you get off my driveway, please?
This is Toronto's mayor. By now, everyone already knows who he is. Rob Ford admitted to smoking crack.
Yes, I have smoked crack cocaine.
Created a scene here, and even reenacted drunk driving.
Question through the chair to the staff.
Again, who do I speak to about the proper code of conduct?
Crack-smoking Toronto mayor and
Ford has been the highlight of every late-night talk show.
A lot of people are calling for you to resign. Will you step down, sir?
No, sorry.
Have you purchased illegal drugs in the last 2 years?
Yes, I have.
8 seconds long. 8 seconds.
How to tell if your mayor is smoking crack. Blurred vision.
Holy great!
In eyes smoking crack.
I do not use crack cocaine.
Admits to smoking crack.
Yes, I have smoked crack cocaine.
And the mayor of Canada's largest city even had his own TV show, but only for 24 hours.
Everybody has skeletons in their closet. Mine have been exposed.
Right after its debut, the conservative cable news channel Sun News canceled the program, despite record ratings for the network. But don't worry, Ford's commentary to news outlets are endless.
I don't look at myself as the mayor. I look at myself as just a normal, regular person.
With the best parenting skills.
Absolutely, I'm the best father around.
This week, City Council voted 37-5 to reduce the mayor's staff.
I said I get...
And stripped most of Ford's powers to the deputy mayor.
Sorry, you can only say that so many times.
Boy, to discuss this ongoing circus north of the border, we are joined again in the segment by Republican strategist Dee Benke. Also on the panel this time around, media analyst Jackie Guzda and the nation's preeminent political psychologist Dr. Bart Rossi. Welcome. How does this happen? How does this happen?
He is an unstable person with a personality disturbance.
That's an understatement. That's an understatement.
Yes.
Who should not be a mayor. He was elected, and there should be a way to get people like this with his behavior out of office. There should be a mechanism, because every so often we're going to elect somebody who is obviously unstable and not.
But this seems to be happening more and more. You have the Anthony Weiner incident. John Edwards was running, had a child, Bitter, McGreevy at some point, and so on. All these. Why is this happening with so much frequency?
Look, I study media image. That's what I do. However, I thought John Edwards was such a devoted husband and father. I thought Anthony Weiner, and I said it on the show, should have been the mayor of New York City. They can fool you with this image. What they do in their real life is a whole different story. What happened with these guys that you're talking about is that they got found out. It's all about image. It's all about what people see on the media.
Yeah, but then we have Rob Ford here, and his popularity has actually gone up.
Yeah.
And the residents of Toronto, from what I can tell, are not clamoring for him to be impeached or
No.
So how does this happen?
Well, I don't think what the council did, believe it or not, I don't think was fair. They took him out way too quick. I mean, give the guy a little time. I mean, to try to, have a grace period. No, seriously.
But he's admitted smoking crack, which
So
is
what?
illegal.
Look,
It's illegal.
Okay, a lot of people, I think Obama did that too.
What?
He
No,
admitted
not crack. Not crack.
smoking marijuana
That's
illegal
right.
too.
Yeah,
So
but not while president.
Okay,
Not while president.
You know what? But my point is this council should not have stripped his powers, and I'll tell you why. It was a really bad strategy, because he's still mayor, and he ain't going anywhere. So all they've done is they put the red cape in front of the bull, and they've made the situation worse. If they thought he was embarrassing, all they've done is made him angry, and they'll probably end up not getting reelected.
Where are the people rising up for a recall?
They're not. I watched the news from Toronto yesterday.
Right.
They're not laughing. They actually were talking about the televised coverage from MSNBC and how we're making joke after joke after joke about this. They were trying to find a way to dispose of him that would still respect the rules of the democracy there. It was a very
Look, it should be hard to remove an elected official. I'm sorry,
And
Frank's
that's
right.
they are paying
no,
attention
Frank is
to
right
that.
about the polls.
Wait a minute,
lot
I'm
of
right.
people,
Hold on a
Well,
second.
you are. You're right about the polls. I mean, people are like, look, this isn't right. This guy didn't even get a chance to try to redeem himself.
Well, see, I look at it differently because I respect your point here. I think there should be a way that's reasonable to get somebody out of office. However, this guy's behavior has not just come up like this in the last day or two. He's had a history of denial,
He got elected in that way.
He's denied everything, and he's acted as a buffoon. And there should be a way where you can make a judgment on a sitting mayor or a sitting congressman and get them out of office
you know
for
what?
certain
He's
behaviors.
done a good job as mayor, though. His job performance has been good. He's been able to. You'll love this.
But Dee
fill
Dee,
the potholes.
it's perception.
but
it's
not.
perception. Here's a gentleman who admitted smoking crack while in office. We've seen the video of him drunk as a skunk running around. And I mean, there must be at some point, he must say to himself, and we talked about this with Congressman Weiner, at some point you must say to yourself, I need to step away. But here's a guy that's clinging to this office, and the people are not rising up to even start a recall election.
Well, they handled it the wrong way. They made him angry. They took him out without any opportunity for him to try to do something, to go to rehab or whatever. So they made him mad, so he's not going anywhere. So they've got a problem.
Well, I think we all have a problem because he's not the only one. We talked about Weiner. We talked about the congressman from Florida, Spitzer, right? I think you're right. There should be some kind of
mechanism
that we can use to do this without stepping on the laws of our democracy.
Jackie, there's a new book out, Bobby Baker, who was an aide to LBJ. And he was a deal maker. He was a fixer for both parties, Republicans and Democrats, from the 40s all the way through into the 70s. Okay, well, what he says in his book about the behavior of our senators and congressmen is absolutely incredible.
Too bad. They got elected. You have to respect that.
My point is that is different. My point is that we have people elected who are unstable, bizarre individuals. It happened before, but now we're of course in the electronic age, so it's more prevalent.
But in polite society, if you caught smoking crack as an elected official, what you do is you do what the congressman in Florida did. I'm going to step away. I'm going to deal with my problem. I'll be back. We're talking about Trey Radel down in Florida, the first-time congressman.
But he's not getting kicked out, is he? He's not getting kicked out, is he?
But this mayor in Toronto revels in this. I think he's enjoying the publicity of him being a laughingstock at the expense of his constituents.
That's his personality.
Well, what else is he going to do after the council decided to neuter him in like 1 minute? I mean, of course he's going to do that.
He
He's not
smoked
going away.
crack.
No. So what? You know what? A lot of, and this member of Congress did too. But he's still able to retain his office. And you know what should happen? It should be the next election. If they want him in there, great. If they don't, well, then they vote him out. But we don't just remove elected officials willy-nilly.
I agree with Dee Dee on that, actually. And my point on drugs really is a very conservative one. As a psychologist and a political psychologist, I think we should legalize all drugs. I believe in the William Buckley school of thought. Personal responsibility, let's get the government out of drugs, and let everyone be responsible for the drugs they take as well as the alcohol they drink.
Absolutely.
I believe that. And that's a conservative point of view. It's a very right conservative
You got
position.
two conservatives on this issue.
All right.
Do you agree with that, Dee Dee?
With marijuana, I do. I've never tried drugs. I don't plan to, but I have no problem with marijuana, especially when it's in small quantities.
All right,
I mean, it's an herb.
Let's just clear something up. Trey Radel down in, he didn't smoke crack. He used cocaine. I know there's a
Yeah, it's hard for me to
difference.
differentiate between these illegal.
Because of course you're not a crackhead, not like the mayor of Toronto. Okay.
Alleged for that.
Alleged. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Well, he admitted it, so he's admitted it. Did Trey Radel do the right thing? Did he say, is that how you resuscitate your career? You step back and say, I'm going to take care of it, just like Congressman Weiner did. I'm going to leave. I'm going to fix this, and I'll be back.
He did it right, and we deserve to give him a chance to redeem himself.
And what about the mayor, though? That's my point. Why don't you give him an opportunity?
away.
Because he's an extreme personality.
Neither is, it doesn't matter. Neither is the congressman. He's not stepping away either, not really. He's going to keep his office, and so let the mayor have a little rehab, let him do the same thing that the congressman's able to do.
The same case.
The mayor of San Diego charged with sexual harassment. He attempted at least to step away a couple of weeks and say, I have a problem.
Right.
And I think most San Diegans respected that and say, all right, we'll see what happens when we come back. We found out that it was a little more than what he thought. We found out with Congressman Weiner it was a little more than what he thought. He was still doing this behavior beyond saying I got fixed up. Why? Who's handling the mayor of Toronto and not saying to him, listen, here's what you need to do now as a public relations person. Step away, take care of this.
I don't believe he thinks he needs help.
Right.
I think that's part of his behavior.
No,
that's
it was
part
the
of his
council. They stepped in too quick and they made him angry. If they'd handled it better, he could have very well taken the
I think
step.
that's a different issue, but let's let the doctor.
It's not, though.
It's an extreme personality.
No, I think that when we get into extremes, it doesn't work in politics or being a representative. And you have the congressman in Florida who stepped aside and did the right thing. He's going for treatment. He deserves a shot to redeem himself. We all believe that as Americans.
Right.
This guy's behavior has been over time, it's been extreme, and those are the people that bother me in office because they're not stable.
Oh, come on, he's a lot of fun to watch. I mean,
He's
come on.
fun
at the very
to
least.
watch, but we don't live in Toronto, and we are not suffering because we have a
They
mayor
don't
like
either. They
that.
like him. I mean, the
That's
polls
not
are
what I
going
have.
up.
No, that's not what I see when I watch Canadian
Let's take the
television.
broader question here. What does this say about us as people of the United States and residents of Canada who elect these people, and let me go to my original question. How does that happen? How do we elect people? Does it say that we're not well read enough to vote on a particular issue or particular?
I think
how does that?
I always say on this show that we all have different sides to our personality.
You've said that many
I've said
times.
many times, and this is a case where the people in Toronto elected someone probably realizing that he was a little odd or a little different. But there's certain sides to him, as Dee Dee says, that may be effective. Maybe in some ways he is effective as a person.
But he's doing his job. He's effective at his job.
Well, we had Governor Jesse Ventura of Minnesota, who came out of the World Wrestling Association. Many people thought maybe, but he did a fairly good job.
He did a fairly good job.
This guy came out of probably a different area, but you must admit, Dee Dee, and I think you would agree, admitting that you smoked crack while you were mayor is not something you want your city burdened with. You should step away.
Well,
That's right.
I don't think that's fair. I mean, a lot of people have done drugs while in office. I don't think it's a good thing to do, but the council shouldn't just remove him in 1 second. They should give him an opportunity.
Right, but it's not an either or. This fellow has to be dealt with because he's hurting the people of Toronto.
Oh, well, the council decided to deal with him and make him angry and make it worse.
Well,
that was not a good strategy.
My question to you, Dee Dee, and I think you are making a good point from your side here, but at what extreme do we get rid of someone in office? And I think this guy is at the edge of that extreme.
Yeah, I don't think he did enough for the council to do this because, for one, they can't remove him. The council cannot remove this mayor, so he's there. I mean, the only thing that can happen is the state can try to remove him, but I don't see that happening, and that is very, very drastic. We'll see. But that's the only way the guy can be removed.
The people in Toronto are not going to be happy with this fellow.
Well, the polls are going up for him. I think he's starting to be a martyr.
That's because people are into entertainment.
True.
The polls
You
are
make a
going
very
up.
good
That's
point there,
very
Jackie.
true.
Right.
People like this.
The
tension.
entertainment. We in America are loving this story.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Right?
it's fun, that's for sure. I mean,
It's fun.
He's a
fun to
gift
talk
for us,
about.
right?
It's a gift
It's
for
a gift for
late night,
comedians,
yeah,
too.
Saturday Night Live, you
Yeah.
know, he's
Of
good for
course.
skits.
But this isn't comedy. This is politics.
But it
and
doesn't
this
mean
is
he's not doing his job,
governing.
though.
He is not doing his
He
job.
is doing his
When he
job.
tackles a woman on the parliament
Oh,
floor.
come on, Jackie. He did not tackle
He
this
bumped
woman.
into her.
Jackie,
he bumped
he
into
ran
her.
her
He
over.
bumped her. He ran
but he
her
was
over.
going after a guy.
It was, yeah, he was
going after
right?
someone his own size. But no, he did not mean to tackle that woman.
But you bring up
He
a
ran
very
her
good
over.
point. We like to be entertained. Maybe,
like to be
are we at the
entertained.
point where we like to be entertained by our politicians as well?
Exactly,
It's a
because
fact.
they are celebrities.
Sure.
Look, you talked about President Kennedy for the last two segments. His media image was stellar. It still is 50 years past. Now, he also had problems. He was having affair after an affair
Yes.
while he was in office.
Yes. Which we didn't know about.
Which we didn't know about because that was the tenor of the times. You know, I read something by Eric Severide, who was a reporter in that era, that said he saw something, but he said, no, that's the president's business. I am not going to report it.
Which is not where we are today. Quickly, we
Right.
have just a few minutes left. What do you see happening to Rob Ford? Does he stay around, leave, or does he get bounced?
I think he's staying around, and I think the gifts are going to keep on coming. It's going to get more and more interesting and fun. Hold on to your seats, folks.
Jackie?
I think that they should find a way in Toronto to let him go. Nice and easy. Put him in a boat, send him out on the Hudson.
Professor Rossi? I'm sorry.
His ego.
Dr. Rossi?
His ego is going to get into the way of this problem. He's going to have continued difficulty, and the polls are not going to be so good as we move forward.
Are you going to stick around for the lightning round? We got the lightning round coming up, the famous lightning round. When we come back, the Fresh Outlook lightning round as we hit more important issues in the news this week. We'll be right back.